A second way you can make your letters interesting, aside from putting a brushes or something in there, is to add what is called a layer style. Now, if you have rasterized your layer, you will be able to do a layer style on them. So again, a second way to make your layers stand out and have a focal point is to add a layer style. So I'm going to again concentrate on my O here to make it stand out. And I'm going to come up here to where it says layers, layer style, and there are a bunch of different things you can do. And I'm just going to show you a couple of them really quick. A few of the more popular ones are outer glow and drop shadow. So I'm going to choose outer glow. All right. And you have all of these different things that look quite intimidating on here. I'm going to say it is pretty simple. The first thing you want to do is choose the color you want of your glow. So I'm going to pick a bright yellow. All right, so that way it'll stand out. All right, and you can maybe barely see it along the edge there. If you want it to stand out a little bit more, here are the few of these sliders you're going to work with. So the opacity, obviously, is I'm going to crank this up. So that makes it easier to see. So opacity is how easy it is to see, how transparent or solid. So I'm going to make it a little more solid. The noise is how pixelated it is. So it either can get really fuzzy or pretty clean. And I'm going to keep it pretty clean. The spread, and if you look over at the O, the spread is kind of how far it starts to come off of the letters. And then obviously the size is how big you want it to be. Okay? So there are a few other things you could play around with, but those are the simple things. If you would like your letter to glow, you can choose its color, how bright it is, and how far it spreads off. Well, I'm going to hit cancel on that one. Another fun layer style to do is called drop shadow, and this will make your letters look like they are actually sitting kind of like floating off of the page. Again, this opacity, you'll see that slider looks familiar. The more you make it 100% opacity, the more solid it is. This determines the angle you would like your shadow at, so you can set it to different angles of your letter. This is how far off, and you guys can see over there if you're looking to the left, how far off of your letter you would like it to be. And again, this has to determine with how thick it is or how thin it is. So you can play around with all of these different ones. They all have these slider and color options for it to make your letter stand out. And as you can see, that makes my letter look very 3D, like it's popping off of the page. So those are called layer styles, and they are located right up here under layers, and you can use them as long as your layer has been rasterized.